Dalí, Stevenson-Mathews here. I am so very pleased to be here with Dr. Riley, who is the curator of this wonderful exhibition happening here. We are having the opening event tonight. This is December 12th. I am so pleased to serve as the community engagement officer here, and this exhibition is just stunning. Why don't you share with us a little bit about it, and then we will walk you through some of these beautiful pieces.
Well, let's start with one thing, because it looks so beautiful, and I can't wait to see their faces when they walk in the door. But let's start with one thing, right? Can you imagine a more interesting, shall we say, or a more amazing choice to do this on the 20th anniversary of the rebirth of Israel? Aliyah, Salvador Dalí, not Marc Chagall, not Picasso, Salvador Dalí. And that's what I think is, sort of starts us off with. What a fascinating exhibition this is. You bring this amazing surrealist fantasy and imagination to a huge historic and biblical theme. You know, it's absolutely amazing what he did with it, but what that adds to it, that this Spanish Catholic guy, famous joker, famous surrealist, would take up his amazingly gifted pen. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so why don't you come in? We've got Yolanda helping us. Thank you, Yolanda.
And when you commission Dalí, you get a Dalí, right?
So show us what you have.
Oh, this is a guy who, like Picasso, could paint and draw the figure. So you get things like this, which is Dalí doing what he does so brilliantly, and adding his ideas, these tiny little figures. I used to take the loop when I had them, and I would look deep into where those tiny little perfectly articulated figures would be, and then the big monumental figures, something like that. But you've also got in here an entire history lesson, an entire biblical lesson too. We've got to come over here for a second. Look at this. This is the arrival, right at the beginning. This is the 20-year anniversary. So this is the arrival, the Exodus, the beginning. David Ben-Gurion. You want a funny little detail? Salvador Dalí just couldn't help himself. Look at the mustache that he had to have.
Oh,
right?
no.
So I think that this kind of thing, by the way, really will bring people into it. And I'm going to show you just a couple more things, because little details like that, of course. For instance, think about kids who come and look at this. They'll never forget something like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And as I understand, how you have put them together is a little different than how Dalí originally did.
Yeah,
and everything fits. That's what I love.
Gailey, I'm so glad you said that. This took thought. I mean, it's a one-room exhibition, but by the same token, it's a very complicated exhibition too. It's a very complicated time to be putting these up. Absolutely. It's a complicated situation having Dalí being the artist, right? And also, he didn't, unfortunately, Dalí was never mistaken for somebody who had a coherent narrative. So he didn't really put that much thought into how they should be shown. We followed a very, very great scholar. His name is David Blumenthal. He has them in his own possession too, down in Emory. He's got his own set. And he said, I'm going to divide these historically and thematically. And then we tracked his. And what's beautiful about it, if I may, it's going to be a great teaching exhibition. And it's a great one also if you just come and want to learn this story and want to feel this story. It unfolds the way Blumenthal did it and the way we've done it. It unfolds like a novel. It unfolds like really, really well-written history. And I'm just going to say this one thing, because I don't mean to be flip about this. This is a wonderful exhibition with a very, very powerful message. I feel that Dalí doesn't just represent something that there was a great photograph of, and we have one of the photographs. That's the facts. Those are the facts. Most people will know the facts. We're deluged by facts and images and photographic images in the news. What does Dalí do? He uses that beautiful pen and brush. He uses his amazing imagination, and he makes you feel this. Not just these are the facts, but this is how we can feel about these facts. And that's the experience that I think is going to make this such a wonderful exhibition for so many of your visitors.
And I will say you feel it when you walk into the room. You feel it when you walk into the room. I know there was one more you wanted to show us over here, so let's take it over here.
No, because it's just so beautiful, right? Well, this is a heart punch.
So if we can come on in a little bit.
This is a heart punch. Look at the barbed wire. Think about the suffering as well. But when someone like Dalí, or let's use Homer and the Odyssey and the Iliad, when they make beauty out of tragedy, out of war, out of grief, right? When there's a lot of lamentation in this, but there's beauty in this as well. For instance, this is one of my favorite pairs. This is the beginning of the irrigation in the desert, and this is what happens when the desert blooms. Dalí just had this fantastic sense of what a beautiful story this history could be, even though there is a lot of grief and lamentation, as there still is.
And I find on so many of these pairings, this happens over and over.
So beautiful. So he was this is why they had him to do the World's Fair too. He was a master maker of scenarios. He knew the drama of it. He worked with Buñuel. He worked with Alfred Hitchcock. He worked with Walt Disney. He was a master storyteller, so he knew this is the boom, boom, just like that. Here's another one too. This is the war, and this is the victory, and this is the peace. Boom, like that. And really, as I was saying before, how do you make? This is an old theme in art, but it's kind of an interesting one. How do you make death? How do you make war into something aesthetic, into something beautiful? Dalí lets the colors bloom. Dalí uses this amazing ladder. Dalí gives you the victory, the choral victory at the end of it. Dalí gives you a work of art. And I guess this is the part that means so much to me. I grew up on Long Island. This is a way of saying not just here's the history, but this is a way of saying you're allowed to have the emotions about the history. I've never seen anybody, kid or adult, walk into a Salvador Dalí show and not be completely consumed by the emotional side of it as well.
Sure. And we'll wrap it up because we've got people coming in.
So
here's the thing. There are some of you who are here tonight. This is December 12th. It is the opening of this wonderful exhibition. Thank you so much, Dr. Riley, for putting this together, and everyone. But the other thing is make sure you go to the website. We'll include the information below. Dr. Riley is going to be with us tonight and sharing some of this with everybody gathered. But thank you so much. And make sure you get to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center before this exhibition goes away, because it is stunning. Thank you so very much. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Riley. Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you. Yes.